What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day out there. Today, guys, we're going to talk about something, and I've been, answering comments back, and people always asking about what's the best car, what's the best car out of the box, and so on. So today, this little video is just going to be kind of going over what my personal preference and what I think is the best 4S, 6S, and 8S car directly out of the box. Not doing anything to it. What's the toughest one, especially if you're just getting into the hobby and not wanting to do a bunch of crazy upgrades and changing chassis and all kinds of stuff. But you just want something fun, durable, right out of the box you can go out there and beat on and do the least amount of upgrades straight out of the box. So we're going to kind of go over some of the cars today, so stay tuned, everybody. So the first one we're going to go over is on the 4S line. Now, right now, the only two 4S cars I have is the Arma Outcast 4S. This is the new V2 and obviously the new Max V2. Both cars have been a blast. And, out of the box overall between the two, this might kind of surprise you, maybe, but we're going to bring out which one's the winner here. Now, straight out of the box, between these two cars and the upgrades I've had to do to them. Now, the Outcast 4S, I have really done nothing to this car other than adjust the shock fluid a little bit on this car, but everything else, all the electronics, everything is completely bone stock on this thing. I've had this thing down at the motocross track. I've had it at the skate parks. I've beat the snot out of this thing pretty well. And Max V2, done the same thing. I had this thing down at the skate parks, beat this thing around the motocross track. But you guys will see real quickly here, a number of the things that I've had to upgrade on the Max V2 to stay together. The front hubs on the Max were constantly breaking, so I had to upgrade these to the aluminum hot racing with the C hubs and the hubs on this thing. Those were a big problem. The A-arms hold together pretty well. I have broken a couple of them, but the A-arms hold together pretty decently, but the front steering assembly and the steering links themselves are definitely a weak spot on this car, and I have had to replace them out a number of times. But overall, the car is definitely an awesome basher, but it does need a few upgrades. However, the Outcast, guys, this has just been a tank, and I've been super impressed with this thing. All the steering, everything is all completely blown stock on this thing, and she's held together great. The only thing I've had issues with this car, really, is the chassis. I broke the chassis once, but that was really no fault of the car. I pile drived it into the concrete on a 360 skate park loop, nose first, cracked the chassis, and that was the only really weak spot. And I changed the chassis out, and I threw one of the M2C Racing chassis braces on here. I've never had another issue with it ever since. But everything else on the car has held up phenomenal. So honestly, directly out of the box between these two, I would definitely pick the Outcast 4S. Just because I've had less issues with it. I've had to do less upgrades to it. Really none, for that matter. But the Max, don't get me wrong. Love the Max. Ton of fun. Definitely a very durable car. But there's a few weak spots on it that you do need to change out, that you will have issues with. If you bash them harder, too, especially. You take these things to skate parks, it puts a pretty good hurting on them. So, out of these two, Outcast 4S is going to take this. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is the 6S line. And remember, guys, during this video, this is not about what is the best car if you've upgraded or done anything. This is the best car. You rip this thing out of the box, you chuck a battery in it, and you can go out there and beat the snot out of this thing with limited problems. Now, I know everybody has a little different experiences with things, and everybody kind of runs their cars different things, different places, and different styles, so there is a little bit of variance. However, there are certain cars, especially in the 6S line, that would take the durability and fun factor, the first place on this one. And again, this one kind of surprised me when I overall thought about it, so let me know what you guys think. That's right, guys, the Mojave 6S. Now, this car, as far as heavy bashing, or big jumps, should I say, this is not something, a type of car you're going to go out there and launch, 150 feet. However, again, we're talking about durability here, and you cannot beat the Mojave. As Speed Psycho would attest for this, I have beat the snot out of this car so many repeated times, and it just keeps on ticking. So we can get this Velcro off this thing. But guys, The bodies obviously do take a pounding after a while, but that is kind of a benefit also of this car, is that the body covers, much of the car. So a lot of it is added protection. So it definitely helps the car out a lot. But all stock electronics in here. I did gear it up. I've added a few aluminum pieces of this thing just because I had them. And a few things I did need to change out was this upper hinge pin brace. The upper one here, definitely a big thing to upgrade on any of the 6S cars. However, guys, you can pull a Mojave out of the box, throw a battery in this thing, and just thrash this thing, and it will just take it and take it and take it. Every time I've had this car out, it has just amazed me on the punishment that this thing can take. And, chassis stock, all the A-arms, all that stuff is stock. I did change out just because I changed them out on all my 6S cars. I did put a aluminum differential case on the rear of this, and also I put the M2C Racing rear tower brace on this because I did bend it once when I landed it really horrible. But, guys, overall, you pull this thing out of the box, it's just a ton of fun. I put some different tires on it. I put the belted guitars on here that usually come on the Italian, and it's a blast. But, if you're just looking for a car to rip around your yard, tear around the dirt, and just have a blast with, you cannot go wrong with the Mojave. Now, the only downfall of the Mojave is big air. Because of the body, it parachutes. It likes to float in the air, and it doesn't always like to land on its wheels. So that's the only downfall of it. But if we're talking durability and being able to just beat the snot out of an RC car, the Mojave is it. And I'm sure some of you guys are going, I can't believe you picked the Mojave over one of your Creighton XLs or anything else. Now, any of you guys are following along, obviously, durability-wise and being able to jump and fly, those are incredible. However, these things are far, far from stock. I mean, there's nothing stock about these cars except the A-arms. So that's why this video is kind of different. It's not talking about what is the best car, what's the fastest car. We're just simply talking about what's the best car out of the box. And guys, if I had to take one car, if somebody said, you can only have one car straight out of the box and go out and bash for the day, what's it going to be? What would you think is going to hold up the best? Like I said, the Mojave. Next, we're going to talk about the 8S line. Now, this one is honestly kind of tough because none of my 8S cars are stock. I mean, the Outcast 8S is far from stock. The X-Max is pretty far from stock. And obviously, the Creighton 8S is pretty far from stock. However, again, if I go back to the durability of the car out of the box, you guys might guess this one. Now, all the Armor guys, don't get upset here. But if you're talking straight out of the box, you cannot beat an X-Max. And I will tell you why. Now, obviously, my X-Max is far from stock. However, the X-Max out of the box produces just enough power and just enough speed that it does not do a lot of damage to the truck. It can take most of the punishment, and the amount of air you can get with a stock system, the thing is pretty durable. It can take a lot of punishment. The plastic chassis holds up very well with the stock system and the amount of airtime you can get with it. So that's why overall, the X-Max, pulling it out of the box, throwing a set of batteries in it, again, I would definitely take the X-Max with me. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I absolutely love my Outcast 8S and my Creighton 8S. I mean, as far as going down to the motocross track and wanting to just have a blast and air the things out and get some big jumps, I'm going to take one of those two cars. I would not take the X-Max. But as far as durability out of the box, the X-Max, it definitely can hold in there very well. And that's one thing I learned, with the X-Max, was that there seems to be a certain amount of weight limit that these cars kind of like. And that's why, guys, as you guys seen, I've stuck with, well, I originally had the stock motor and the stock ESC in here again. The ESC went bad, so I swapped stuff out. Now I'm running the Max 5 ESC from Hobby Wing with the stock motor with the 2050 gearing, and it seems to be kind of a perfect medium. I am running the M2C Racing top brace on this thing, also to hold my ESC, and it also gives a little bit of reinforcement to that top. And running lots of other upgrades on here, running some Hot Racing Servo Saver setup we got the M2C Racing wide kit, the chassis brace and everything on here. But, you know, like I said, guys, when we're talking about out-of-the-box durability, you know, the X-Max, you can go down there and beat the snot out of it at a skate park. And for the power it has, the rest of the car can take it pretty well. And out of all the other cars, and especially the 6S line, there's only one other car that really fits, you know, an upgrade kind of limit that is super impressive, guys. And we've talked about this car many times. The Tekno ET48 2.0. You know, even in the stock chassis form, this does have the M2C Racing chassis under it. But even with the stock chassis on here, I was super impressed with, obviously, the bashability of this car. It's a blast. It's a ton of fun. I didn't really throw this in the 6S line because, you know, again, I would still honestly take a Mojave over this out of the box. However, you know, if you're looking at something else and you're not wanting to go short course truck and you're wanting to do a build especially, you know, guys, this Tekno has been an incredible basher, ton of fun, handles amazing. But I did kind of throw it in. This would honestly probably be my second car closest to stock that's an incredible basher. The only downfall of this car out of the box, or should I say freshly built, is that center brace. And that's when I put that new front center brace in this thing, and it's cured the issue with bending that front center drive shaft and having any issues with that. But the Tekno honestly would come in a very close second as far as closest to stock. But guys, I mean, you guys know most of my other cars on here, nothing is stock. Everything has got, you know, many upgrades, big power systems, M2C Racing chassis and beefcake kits and everything. And, you know, they're super durable. But again, you know, I just kind of want to put together a video because guys out there, you know, thinking about buying their first 4S car, 6S car, 8S car, you know, what is the toughest thing directly out of the box to just go out there and have fun with the hobby? You know, may not want to get too crazy right off the bat. And that's kind of why I figured throw this little video together. And you know, guys, I got like 6 inches of snow outside. I'm hoping to go out tomorrow, but kind of wanted to put together a little video and chat with you guys and put together this and see what you guys thought. You guys drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think of my lineup. And if it's anywhere near close to yours, or if you agree or disagree, let me know what you guys think your favorite 4S or 6S or 8S car is, because I always enjoy hearing them. And I know there's lots of cars out there that I don't have in my lineup. And, you know, I'm hoping this summer we're going to make a few little changes and maybe get rid of a couple cars, or maybe just add to some more and put some other things on the shelf here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. But anyway, guys, getting some batteries charged up here. And this is going to be one other little note, because for some reason this has been a very constant asked question anymore on what batteries I usually run in my X-Max or the Kraton 8S. And these have been my favorite batteries to date, guys. Are these Ovonic 6200 milliamp ADC dual 4S LiPos I run in 88S cars. And guys, honestly, I couldn't be happier with all the Ovonic batteries. They have been holding up great. The durability factor is great. The power is great. And I'm not having cells just randomly die or catch fire. I've had great luck with the Ovonics. So if you're not sure what batteries you want to try it, give the Ovonics a try. Guarantee you won't be disappointed. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this little video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully tomorrow I can get out, have a little fun with the snow. Thinking about taking out maybe the Kraton 8S and something else and setting up the ramp, launching her into some snow. But guys, that's going to do it. So until next time, y'all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.